Hey guys. Hey guys, I fixed it. So how's it going? Um, this is my first ever Oils 101 that I'm doing live on my Facebook page because um, I'm a big old introvert and I don't really like to have to leave the house to teach classes, but I do have a lot of stuff to share, and so I figured this was the best and most easy way to do it. So what I want to do in this class tonight is I want to talk about my top 8 favorite oils that are really easy to use. They're like my go-tos, and because they are my go-to oils, I keep them in a little keychain like this, and it's just the neatest thing because you can have little bitty, hi Therese, hi Tina, how's it going? Thanks for being on the live stream with me. I'm a little bit nervous, so I appreciate the support. Yeah, I've got the oils that I use every day, and I keep them in this little keychain, and it's just really easy to deal with. And so I want to tell you why these are my favorite oils. I'm glad you made it here, Therese. So when you first get into essential oils, you'll find out that, very quickly, they're a bit addictive. It can be kind of overwhelming. There's so many different things. So sometimes it can be hard to figure out, where to start. Yeah, teeny tiny bottles are the way to go. I have a small purse. And anyway, if something spills, you don't mind if you spill like 15 drops as opposed to the whole bottle of something. So that's going to be the best. But so you can see I've already got like a collection started here. This is nowhere near all my oils. These are just some of my favorites that I pulled out to share with you guys. But yeah, so for those of you guys that are on the live stream, I actually have a PDF that will go along with this. So if you catch like half of the discussion or, something crazy happens, you will be able to go back and read what I'm talking about. And it'll be easier to figure out what I'm talking about. So let's get right into it. My favorite oils that I like to keep on hand, my number one is the king of oils, frankincense. I love, love, love frankincense. For those of you who don't know who I am, I've actually been into essential oils for over 12 years, and I've used a bunch of different companies. I was with another large company for a long time, and after doing some research, I did recently switch to doTERRA, so that's been quite a journey. One of the things that I was really concerned with was purity and quality, and I had heard in the past that doTERRA's frankincense wasn't as pure as some of the other ones, but apparently that is not true. What doTERRA's frankincense is a blend of 3 different kinds of the Boswellia plant. So there's Boswellia sacra, Boswellia carteri, and then a third one that I can't remember offhand. But this particular blend of frankincense smells amazing. Some of them can be a little bit kind of sharp, almost acidic. This one is sweet and beautiful and uplifting. I like frankincense because it's kind of like a soul chakra grounding oil. It really kind of anchors you toward like a higher feeling. It's almost like a spiritual awareness. It's also practically really good for your skin. It is useful because frankincense has been used for thousands of years as like a cellular regeneration aid, so it's really great. This one I put in my skincare blend. I actually have like a roller bottle that I make up with different carrier oils. I have jojoba and argan oil in here right now. I'm going to actually add some sea buckthorn. Really good nourishing oils for the skin, but adding the frankincense to it really gives it that extra boost of sun protection. Yeah, more like it grounds you in a feeling of like a higher purpose almost. Frankincense is one of the oils that was traditionally used in churches as like an incense. The resin, they used to burn that in churches, and so it's calming, but uplifts you in I don't know if that makes sense. Like it cheers you because it kind of connects you to a higher purpose in your life. So I love to diffuse frankincense at night along with lavender, another one of my top 8. I actually have a friend of mine who has some PTSD issues. He was, went to war and had a lot of trouble sleeping ever since he came back. He would wake up, 5-6 times a night. But frankincense is his go-to as well. It really, really helps him sleep. It helps him to be calm and to kind of feel safe. So it's a great oil for that. But yeah, number 1, my top oil, frankincense. Great for the skin, protective after you've had maybe a little bit too much sun, which, here we are in Texas. Definitely a wonderful oil for nourishing your skin and for cellular regeneration. Another one that I really love, I already talked about it a little bit, is lavender. Lavender it's kind of like your Jill of all trades. Definitely good for anxiety. Lavender is really neat because any kind of skin upset, lavender is great to have in your bag. This one is one that I will never leave the house without lavender. When my kids were tiny, I used to have like a salve that I would use for their, if they got like a sting or a bug bite, or, if they got like a little scrape or a cut. Lavender was always, the salve is what I always used to use for them, but now I don't need that anymore. I just use my lavender oil. It's even good for bee stings. I would use it with peppermint and baking soda for a bee sting, but lavender is amazing for any kind of skin upset. So like if you have a rat, like your kids, we're running out into the grass and then their legs are itchy, lavender is great for that. It's also really good for helping you to calm down if you're having anxiety. Again, it's really good for sleep. This one's nice to put on the soles of your children's feet to help them chill out. Maybe you've had a wild day out at the park or at the shops or whatever, and then you have a drive home and you want the drive home to not be chaos. Lavender's your go-to. It's also excellent for like ant bites or hives. It's also amazing first aid for burns. My daughter actually she was making brownies recently, and I posted about, she put frankincense on it when she got burned because frankincense was the closest thing at hand. The lavender was in some other room. We didn't know where it was. But lavender, if you have a choice, lavender is your top burn oil. So as soon as you burn yourself, put lavender directly on it. It's kind of funny because it's soothing, but it's also kind of almost disinfectant. So lavender is like your number 1 toolbox kind of oil. Third one that I really love, that I like to keep with me at all times, lemon. Lemon is a really neat oil. For those of you who don't know, like my past, I used to be a childbirth educator and a doula, and lemon was also one that I kept in my birth bag when I attended births. Lemon is, it's really, all the citrus oils, but especially lemon, really gives you this bright, uplifting, energizing feeling. It's almost like antidepressant in a bottle. It really just makes you feel good and cheerful and happy. And when I used to use it for my laboring mamas, I would put it on the soles of their feet because especially, pregnancy and labor, you're very sensitive to the scents, but you still want to get those oils in your system somehow. So applying them to the soles of your feet is a wonderful way to do that, where the smell is, down there. It's not really going to bother anybody. But they're still able to get the benefits of the lemon oil. And what I noticed often is that their blood pressure would drop. Now, I'm not saying that lemon reduces blood pressure, but lemon does calm you down and make you kind of feel more cheerful, more optimistic. And those feelings in turn can, help regulate our physical systems. That's one of the beautiful things that I love about essential oils overall, is that they are very much, shall I say, medicine for the emotions. The way that we feel is so deeply connected to our sense of smell. It's a very primal, we're working with our limbic brain, with our reptilian brain systems, that it's not necessarily, something conscious, but I mean, we know like the smell of, fresh baked cookies or something can take us instantly to a better mood, and that in turn affects our physical health in the moment. So that's a wonderful use for lemon oil. The other very practical use for lemon oil is it is an anti-sticky oil. So maybe you're peeling a label off of something and you've got to get that gross residue off there. Lemon oil. You can add a drop to this and spray it on your car windows and then wipe them down with newspaper. That will get rid of any kind of residue that's there. It's very much like a degreaser. You can also use it as like a gentle cleanser, kind of. If you don't have other things on hand, you can use a bit of lemon oil. But again, it's beautiful for emotional as well as practical support. The next one, you might be noticing a trend here. Peppermint. Peppermint is I believe it's the best-selling oil that doTERRA carries. One drop of peppermint is as powerful, it has as much potency as 30 cups of peppermint tea. So it's kind of a lot. Peppermint is a very potent oil. A lot of times, in order to use it and benefit from it, you don't even have to take it out of the bottle. Just wafting it under your nose gives you the full effect of it. And I love doTERRA's peppermint because, again, it doesn't smell like, there's no sharp, acrid chemical smell like a lot of the other brand names that I've used in the past. This is a sweet, herbaceous, beautiful, clearly natural scent, and it's really good. So what is peppermint good for? It wakes you up. This is another one that I used to carry in my birth bag when I was attending births as a doula. Peppermint is really good to kind of energize you. Especially when you're living in Texas. It also helps to cool you down. So sometimes I can put peppermint like on the back of my neck if I'm working outside or something. I've also done like a drop of peppermint in, I use it in my hair. I don't know if that means, but yeah, if you put it, a drop of peppermint in, like, say, a sink full of water, get a washcloth and soak the washcloth, wring it back out. Then you have a minty, cool rag. You put it on the back of your neck. Instant cool down. It's really nice. The other great thing about peppermint is the scent of it can, yes, tummy aches. Exactly. Tummy aches, nausea. It's also a good anti-headache remedy. So if you're having that tension, peppermint kind of wakes you up. And you can also, what I'll do is I'll put it kind of right here in my hairline. Of course, that makes sense. Yeah, it's a great, because it's so potent, it does cover up other smells. So that's really fantastic. But if anybody has kind of a headache, that kind of tension thing going on, I'll put it on my fingertips and I'll put it in my hairline. You don't want to put it even right here or closer because it will bother your eyes. But if you can put it kind of up here on your temples, like on your scalp, it can be really helpful in kind of reducing that tension and helping you to relax. Peppermint is really, really good. Yep, headaches, exactly, Bethany. And then I've got a couple other favorites. It's really hard to pick when I'm narrowing it down to 8 oils. It's really difficult. But seeing as we live in Texas, seeing as I live out in the country, my kids are very outdoorsy, lots of bugs, that kind of thing. Another one that I chose to include in my favorites is lemongrass. Lemongrass it's a neat scent. It's kind of a little bit citrusy, a little bit woodsy, and then almost like a smoke quality to it. So it's a very interesting, unique smell. They use it in Asian cooking and stuff. Lemongrass is excellent at repelling bugs, especially mosquitoes and ticks. I have a good friend who works out in the forest. Ticks are a big issue where he lives. Lemongrass is his go-to. He wears it every day, and it kind of doubles as like a cologne, and as well as anti-bug stuff. And here's one of the things, when you use lemongrass particularly, but any kind of essential oil, essential oils chemically, they're very volatile, which means they're going to disperse, they're going to evaporate into the air. And so, especially lemongrass, like, I don't know if you can see that in the camera. Do you see how much it wiggles? It has a very high it has a very high viscosity. It's almost like alcohol in how much. Yes, chiggers as well. It's really good for that, Therese. I love my lemongrass. But if you're noticing like how volatile it is, what that means is that it will actually work better with a carrier oil, because the carrier oil will blend to this. It will kind of bind to the essential oil and help it to stay on the skin longer so that it won't evaporate away, which is really useful. A lot of people think, oh, I'm going to dilute my oils with a carrier oil. I'd rather not. I'd rather just use them directly. But sometimes that can be, that can cause some skin sensitivity, especially in little kiddos. Lemongrass is what you might call a warm oil, not a hot oil that will burn your skin, but in some people it's a little warm, kind of like peppermint. It will tingle. It doesn't seem to do that for me, but for other people and for my kids, they might be a little more sensitive to it. So using a carrier oil is a great way to A, make sure it doesn't bother your skin, and B, make the scent last longer and make the oil more effective. Other good way to use the lemongrass is, again, on the soles of the feet. If there's ever an oil where it's like overwhelming in the scent, using it in the soles of the feet is a wonderful way to get the benefits of that oil in your body system without having it, bother your senses. The soles of the feet, interestingly enough, are one of the fastest absorption rates for, in herbalism, they talk about making poultices, and if you put like a garlic paste on someone's feet, within 20 minutes they have garlic breath. It's amazing how fast things are absorbed through the soles of the feet. So that's a great overall tip. So that said, those are some of my single oils. Now I'm going to move on to blends. So top essential oil blend that I always have with me is On Guard. I love On Guard. It kind of smells a little bit like it smells like September and October. It's kind of autumny and spicy. It's got wild orange. It's got clove, which, full confession, back in another lifetime, I used to smoke clove cigarettes, and I still love the smell of clove. This is a way, way healthier way to enjoy clove and all those other scents, obviously. On Guard is doTERRA's immune support blend. So On Guard is very much, it's anti all the buggy things. So if you have any kind of, if you've just gone out and like someone was sick, On Guard's a great thing to kind of, put on your hands. But again, it is a hot oil. It does have cinnamon bark in it, which means this can burn your skin, create that burning sensation if you use it directly. It might be something you could put on the soles of your feet, but again, the carrier oil is going to make it last longer. Why not do that? So this is another one. Soles of the feet is really good. You can also add this to a spritz bottle, and they have those little cute spritz bottles, maybe like a 2-ounce spritz bottle. Fill it up almost all the way with water and maybe like 15 or 20 drops of something like On Guard, and you can put it in the air. You can clean surfaces with it, maybe like door handles. This is one they sell a spritz that you can buy pre-made, and that way it has a label on it. You won't end up with a spritz bottle in your purse and you're going, what is this? But it's really, really great. You can also diffuse it. Yeah. On Guard, when we were having, we had a leak in our bathroom and we didn't realize because it was kind of behind the wall. So we had some mold stuff going on, and that was a little bit terrifying. We were all kind of having, the brain fog and getting kind of, just illness, lethargic. We weren't sure what it was, and then we finally connected the dots, and we were like, oh my gosh, we have mold. So we started diffusing On Guard in the house, and within a couple days, we actually all started feeling better, and thank goodness we got the issue taken care of. But On Guard is wonderful. Like, if anybody's sick, you can definitely diffuse it. Even though it's a hot oil, you can totally diffuse it. It's not going to bother your eyes or anything like that. I would have, if you have a very tiny baby, obviously use caution. But beyond that, it's great for diffusing. On Guard is one of the ones that I keep in the spritz bottle in my purse. And so after we come out of a public restroom, instead of doing like the Purell or whatever, I'm just like, hands, and everybody goes like this, and they get a spritz. And then before we eat, if we're going out to a restaurant, if we're coming out of Costco, On Guard. It really kind of, it's become a ritual in our family. The kids will ask, oh, where's the spray? Which is great. And again, unlike something like Purell, which, an alcohol-based hand sanitizer kills all the buggies. But what does that do? Then our immune system is not able to be challenged by anything, which means maybe we're not allowing our immune system to get a good workout, if that makes sense. So that's why I like something like On Guard. It works with our immune system instead of just eradicating everything and letting our immune system get lazy. Does that make sense? So moving on, let's see. What else do I have? The other oil, I don't actually have it on hand, but it's called Digest Zen. That's a wonderful one to have, especially in the summertime, where maybe you're going to barbecues and things, or maybe you're, on road trips having to stop in funny places and eat food. I don't know about you guys. In our family, we have, it seems like all the allergies. So we've got a couple of vegetarian kids. We've got gluten sensitivities. My husband's dairy sensitive. At this point, we don't even put a label on our diet. We don't even expect anybody to cook for us. It's just too complicated. So suffice it to say, having some kind of a digestive support blend is really, really nice for us. Especially when we're traveling and maybe we've eaten something that doesn't agree with us. Having Digest Zen is a really nice thing because it's like a tummy ache soother, especially for our kids. If your little one is like having trouble going to sleep or something, oh, my tummy hurts. Digest Zen oil is a really nice oil. Again, it's got that spicy, but like a minty smell as well. It's got ginger and anise in it. So it's kind of a licoricey smell. You can apply it directly to the stomach with the carrier oil and give your kiddos a little belly massage. And it's a wonderful way to kind of connect with them and, help them to get in touch with their body. Like, I'll ask my kids, where does your tummy hurt? Is it above the belly button? Is it below the belly button? And I'm kind of helping them to be aware because, being aware of that biofeedback, like, what is actually going on with my body? Did I eat something funny? Did I overdo it? Did I not drink enough? Like, helping our kids to be aware of those things early on empowers them to feel like they're in charge of their health. They're not like victims to what may or may not happen to them. They can think back and say, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have had that second bowl of ice cream. And that's a pretty cool thing when your 5-year-old is able to connect the dots and say, yeah, I'm good actually. So Digest Zen is wonderful to have on hand for that. It's also good for nausea. We first started using Digest Zen when we had kind of a bout of, I wouldn't say stomach flu, but it was some kind of, where everybody was feeling a little bit pukey. And that was a wonderful kind of aromatherapy that would help us to quell that nausea. Because I don't know about y'all, but I hate throwing up. I actually have some other tricks about that. I have an acupressure point that I use that's like kind of right here in your throat. It will help you to stop from throwing up. Digest Zen, DIGESTZEN. It's kind of a clever name. I'm really proud of Doterra for coming up with that. It's fun. But that one is really good. And Digest Zen, they have a whole bunch of other products. I think they have lozenges. They have a whole bunch of other things that are really neat. So if you're not in the mood to like go full on crunchy and say make your own, I don't know, cough drops or whatever. They have these products that are just, you know, able to buy. And they don't cost a fortune either, which is fantastic. Especially having, you know, tried the whole gamut of companies and products out there. It's refreshing to be like, oh, I don't have to spend an arm and a leg to get what I really want from you know, for our needs. And again, this is all about keeping it simple, keeping it easy, because I mean, especially with like our dietary needs and stuff, and just anybody who's even a little bit into natural, holistic living, you know, there's a million things that you can DIY, but do you really want to DIY everything? Sometimes it's really nice to just have exactly what you need in, you know, available for purchase in a format that you can trust, that you trust the company, that you're, you know, feeling secure about what it is, so that you don't have to, you know, literally make everything from scratch all the time, because that just gets exhausting. Anyway, I'm going off topic. I have one more oil to tell you guys about, and that one is another blend, and it is called Breathe. Breathe oil is actually my husband's favorite oil. He puts it on his mustache at night. It helps him to breathe easier. This is another one that sometimes you can just use directly out of the bottle. It's especially good for any kind of congestion, including seasonal allergies. Guys, we live in Texas. Cedar season, it's a thing. Breathe oil is fantastic for dealing with that. And again, it kind of has that lemony eucalyptus peppermint smell. It's not overwhelming. It's not like the Vicks Vapor Rub of our childhoods. It's a very pleasant, soothing scent. This is another one that's really cool to put in a roller bottle. So you would, you know, get a roller bottle like this and maybe fill it up that much with a carrier oil and just top it off with some Breathe oil. So a little bit goes a long way, which is fantastic. And then you can apply that either to your chest, like to your kiddos' chests with a carrier oil, or you could go a little bit more intense like my husband does, and he puts it right on his mustache. I don't recommend that. I'm not going to put it on my face, but that works for him and he loves it. But yeah, Breathe oil is fantastic, especially with any kind of allergies. And it's got eucalyptus, cardamom. It's a really neat smell. But that's another one, like if your kiddos are having sniffles or something, it's really nice to just have it in these little bottles that you can use directly. And another really cool thing that I love about doTERRA, they just give you these little stickers. So you're not like confused about what oil you've got. They're all color coded and pretty. And these things just, you know, fit in there so nicely. And then you can just pull out and say frankincense, an adorable little bottle. And then worst case scenario, if that spills, you're not, you know, missing a fortune worth of oils or anything like that. And it's got the little reducer cap in it, so you're not just going to pour it all over. It's really nice. And then you can just use them directly. So those are my top 8 oils. And I have, like I said, everybody who's on the live stream, you guys get access to the PDF that I created for you guys, which I'll actually show it to you right here. It's a 3-page PDF that talks in detail about all the stuff we talked about. It's got a couple of pictures. And it also has a whole section here on safety tips. So anything that you have heard me talk about and you're like, ooh, maybe she said it's a hot oil. I don't know if that's like safe. Maybe I should. It's all in the document, so you guys have access. And I have a really cool offer for you guys. If you're ready to get some of these oils into your own life, what you can do is sign up via my link. It's in the PDF, and you'll either get a keychain for free, and or I will give you a reference guide. I'm going to show you the reference guide. This is a big old hardcover book. Look at that. Every page is colored. It's called The Essential Life. This is a beautiful book, and it's got a lot of information about every oil. There's an index. It tells what every oil does, what you can use it for. It's really, really great. And this is like a desk reference. So you can look up any kind of thing that you want to know in here. And I'm a big fan of research. I'm always going to tell you, even if you're listening to me, do your own research. Make sure you feel comfortable. If something doesn't feel right, if if your gut is telling you, maybe I should look into this more, don't just take my word for it, research. But if you sign up with me, you'll get the book and you'll get your own little oil keychain. I happen to have the purple. It comes in black too. Your choice. So, if you're ready to get some oils in your life, I would love it if you would join me. You would get these things and you'll get to hang out with me. So I'm going to be doing more lives like this as we go on. And I am so glad. Thank you so much for helping me to get over my anxiety and start doing live classes, because I'm an introvert. Live classes is where it's at for me. So if you guys want to stay in the loop, please sign up for my newsletter. I believe you'll also get another freebie, because just for signing up for my newsletter, you will get another freebie, and I can't remember what it is right now, but it's a good one. I'm proud of it. I'm so glad you enjoyed it, Therese. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, guys. Good night. Thanks.